Samsung Galaxy A54 is Samsung's 2023 mid-ranger smartphone, coming in around $499. The new kid on the block is the Google Pixel 7a with Tensor G2, coming in at the same price point of $499. Galaxy A54 is a bigger smartphone and can often be discounted as well and seen at cheaper price points, and both do offer trade-in values. But coming in at a price point of $499, going head to head for your dollar, which one is going to perform better? Because they both need to do this well. It's what separates a mid-range phone from a budget phone. Let's go ahead and boot these up in 3, 2, go. And these days, you really want your mid-rangers to perform well because most mid-range smartphones are really, or even, phones that are under that sub like $600 range, sub $500 range, they've been performing quite well. And the Pixel says, see you later. I'm going to go get some coffee while you still boot up, Samsung. I'll see you later, because this thing boots up way, way faster than the Samsung Galaxy A54. Now, the Galaxy is running the One UI, which is a skin on top of the Pixel. And some people say, well, you know what? I don't ever boot my phone up. Actually, you might need to in certain cases when this phone crashes, or when you're doing a software update, you're going to have to reboot. In that case, the Google Pixel is faster to boot up over this device. Now, both of these do have in-display fingerprint sensors, but I do like the placement of the Pixel 7a's. It's actually right in the middle, whereas the Samsung puts it really low. But which one is quicker? That's definitely the Pixel. Let's go ahead and do that again. 3, 2, go. The Pixel is far faster on the fingerprint sensor as well. And I do have screen protectors on both of these, I missed that one on the Pixel. I do have screen protectors on both of them. But yeah, when pressed at the right time, unlike my last press, you do get a faster speed to unlock on the Pixel as well. So far, the Pixel faster on both boot up and unlocking the phone. Now, from a general, OS standpoint, we are looking at One UI 5.1, and we do have ourselves a 120 hertz panel on the Galaxy A54, which is found in the display modes under adaptive refresh. Now, we do have the stock Android 13 over here. It's the more Google version of that Android version, but you do have the ability to only go to 90 hertz on the Pixel. But here's the thing, guys. This one does have 120 hertz, but because it's running an Exynos 1380 CPU, it absolutely needs it because the CPU is not that powerful. The Tensor G2 in here is quite powerful, and even with a 90 hertz, I gotta tell you, I think the software feels a little smoother on the Pixel. I can still see a little bit of a smoother refresh when the Samsung is acting correct on the 120 hertz, but generally scrolling the operating system, I find that both of them quite similar, but the Pixel a little snappier. That's probably due to its more vanilla take on Android, whereas over here we do have the skin. See, like right there, there's just a little bit of it just looks a little slow when bringing that down, versus over here it's just snappy. So, the A54 is not your fastest Samsung. You'll have to go to the S models to get that. But I would really like to see Samsung on the next A model just give it a little bit better CPU, really get it in line with the A series from Pixel, as well as some of the other smartphones that compete with this phone in this category. All right, so here we are at the application portion of the speed test. You'll notice the Pixel has a more square design, a more curved design on the A54. The A54 also has a wider, larger screen. This one pretty close in size, but because it has a different aspect ratio of 20:9, it looks more narrow, which it is, than the A54. So let's go ahead and begin with calendar. And you're going to find that faster on the Pixel. And let's go into calculator. I can tell you already, if you guys do want a more just everyday, fast, good smartphone, I would probably pick the Pixel. But if you want something for media, you want to read a lot, you're going to be using the phone a lot, I do like the bigger screen, the wider screen on the A54, and it's more vivid, more vibrant, brighter. So the screen experience still wins on the Samsung phone. And let's go over here. And you see so far the Samsung hanging in quite easily here in these basic apps. Let's go into Twitter. And that one goes to the right. I think it would be interesting to see how the Poco F5 does against the Pixel as well. Let me know if you guys want to see that down below. Let's go into Groupon. And you'll see Groupon faster there on the right. And the thing about the Pixel is that it's the Tensor G2. So it's not like we're looking at a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or anything hugely fast like that. It's not the fastest CPU in the market. You'll see right here that was faster on the Pixel, but because of its optimizations, you see that little lag? What the heck was that on the A54? There it goes again. Like, look at this. Just buttery smooth. Let's go into Best Buy. And I know I have not been very nice on Samsung and they just crashed right there. I'm not knocking the A54. I should knock it for that last one though, because I haven't seen an app crash in our speed test in a long time. And no, I did updates before I did this video, so it's not doing an update. The Samsung has been, just not performing as good as other mid-rangers at this point. Let's go to eBay. And really, I feel like you're not really getting a good deal at the full price. If you get this phone for like $200, okay. But at the full retail, I don't think it's a good deal at this point because there's so many phones that are faster and offer similar, experiences. But the A54, I love it for its camera, its design, giving you all those Samsung features. They are really fun. And it's about the cheapest way you're going to get the, experience of Samsung, like the full Galaxy ecosystem experience at a cheaper price point. You can get even cheaper Samsungs, but then they're not really great at that price point, I feel like. So you'll see Asphalt 9 looks faster on the Pixel, of course. The Pixel is playing more in a flagship grade, processor arena, whereas the A54 is not. So again, I just can't sit here and justify, the same price. It's hard to justify the slower CPU. You really got to want all the other stuff that Samsung offers over there. 100% sure, but I do feel like Samsung will make this next A series, the A55, finally much quicker. I just feel it's coming. They're not going to get away with, another Exynos CPU in the next one. They're going to put some type of Snapdragon mid-ranger or something in there to make it powerful. Because at this point, you're still getting less. Even if you put like a Snapdragon let's say you put a Snapdragon in the Galaxy A54, like a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2, you're still getting less than an S model. So I don't know why Samsung keeps putting these slower CPUs in there. Let's go into Tempo Run. Because it's not like you're going to cannibalize the customers of those flagship phones if you're still giving a plastic body, weaker cameras. You're still an OLED display, not the dynamic. This is just a regular Super AMOLED. You're not going to cannibalize those sales. You're just not with a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 because the overall phone is still not better. It's still not as premium, and it's still not going to attract those customers that want the highest of high end. It's just not going to happen. So let's go into 3D Mark. But for these people that are in this category, you can improve their experience. You can see right there, 3D Mark. So overall, you could see in KineMaster, they're both going to load an ad. I think the Samsung has got that one. I think the Pixel is a little faster here after checking all these apps out. I think it's more consistent with its speed. But the Galaxy A54, I still think, even with everything I said, I still think that the A54 is a great value. It's still fast enough for daily use, and it looks super beautiful. It looks like a premium Samsung phone, which I love. Great design. So does the Pixel, looking like a premium Pixel 7 Pro. But at the same time, I do just want to see a little bit better CPU on the next model of the A54 or the A55. So let's go ahead and see how they do with RAM management. Now, the Galaxy does have 6 gigabytes of RAM. We'll begin over here. And so far, pretty good. Let's go to Call of Duty. Full reload there. Oh my goodness, what the heck was that? Look, for people who love Samsung, I love Samsung too. Why do you think I review all these Samsung phones? I'm a Samsung fan as well as a Google fan, as well as an Apple fan. I just like all of these smartphones, but I have to call it like I see it. And sometimes I'm just like, what the heck was that on the Galaxy A54? Can't say the same about the S models, but on the Galaxy A54, just sometimes I'm just like, what the heck was that animation delay? So for me personally, I think this is a great casual use phone, but it's not for a heavy phone user for sure. Which is where I want to say I'm kind of annoyed a little bit with this phone, because I don't think $500 is a little bit of money to be using a casual use phone. Like, I don't want to be paying $500 and have to wait around on some of these delays. And then when you have the multitasking, it all works, but I just don't want to see this chop, at that price point. I'm not paying $200-300, I'm paying $500 for that thing. So let's go over here, check out the Pixel. I believe this one does have 8 gigabytes of RAM versus 6 on the other phone. And you'll find Subway Surfers. And the Pixel, I don't know if the Pixel does better than Poco's F5 series. I'll have to check that out. But so far, looking buttery smooth. And you'll see, looks like we're getting a couple reloads. A little crash there on the Pixel. So the Pixel's not perfect either. What the heck was that, Google? So yeah. So let's go to Groupon, Twitter, Instagram. So even with 8 gigabytes of RAM, this does have a potential to reload. It only reloaded like 2 apps, but still wasn't perfect. So that just goes to show that the Google CPU is not the fastest either. There's still faster chips out there. Your Snapdragon models are quicker phones, as is your A series iPhones, like your A15s, your A16s of the world. Those phones are both faster than both of these, obviously. But out of these two so far, the Pixel definitely feels like the snappier product. All right, and the final Geekbench scores are in, and surprisingly, it's not that much more on the Pixel, even though it has the faster CPU. 1334 on that single core, 2927 on that multi, and 2619 for the Samsung. But Geekbench scores don't say the whole story, as you've seen throughout this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at 3D Mark, and we'll see what happens here. So what that's telling me is that even though the Pixel doesn't have the fastest CPU when it comes to benchmarks, it shows me that the optimizations are better for the Google device versus the Samsung device. However, there is a con to buying a Pixel 7a, and that's that you're dealing with more of a vanilla version of Android. If you want a lot of features, you love customization, and you love a larger ecosystem of products, the Samsung product might still be for you. But let's see how they do in the area of gaming. This will really show us, the frame rates, what you're going to get in gaming. So I'll be back when it's done. All right, so in Wildlife Extreme, we see double the score for the Pixel with an average frame rate of 10.20. Scrolling down, you're going to find that this phone went better than 44% of other devices. Again, this is mid-range, so I wouldn't expect it to be a lot better than most. And you'll see that the Galaxy A54 with an overall score of 807, average frame rate of 4.80. Scrolling down, you're going to find that this phone only scores better than 14% of devices. So the Pixel, more powerful when it comes to its actual gaming as well. Now, throughout this video, you'll see that they were both at 100 when we started. Samsung went down to 95%. The Pixel went down to 96. So battery life, really good on both. But the Samsung actually has a larger battery and it drained a little faster. But both of them very good in that area. So at the end of the day, which is the better pick in terms of performance? I'm going to have to give this round to the Google Pixel 7a. If you're looking for better performance, the Pixel 7a wins this comparison. I wouldn't say it's a super fast, like blazing fast victory over the A54. The A54 is close in some areas, but it's more about the consistency. It's a more consistent experience, which overall lends to, I think, a better user experience when it comes to performance than the A54. But again, if you love the theming options, you love the Galaxy ecosystem, all that it has to offer, the Pixel can't really provide you that. So even the camera versatility, there's a lot of features in the camera. While there's some nice features on the Pixel, there's just way more on the Samsung phone, and there's also a third camera. So there is things to be said. So let me know if you want to see a regular comparison where we talk about which is the better buy. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.